Have you ever felt trapped in an endless cycle, facing the same challenges repeatedly without understanding why? It's like trying to open a locked door with the wrong key. No matter how hard you try, nothing seems to change. This doesn't happen by chance. There's a reason you're still at this point in your journey. God is preparing you, and until you pass the final test, the next level will remain out of reach. It's uncomfortable but absolutely necessary. After all, how can you receive the blessings you desire if you're not yet ready to sustain them? You might be wondering, why me? Why does this always happen to me? The answer is simple but challenging: because you are chosen. And the chosen don't live ordinary lives. Every test, every challenge, every trial is a piece of the puzzle God is putting together. But here's the secret few understand. It's not the test that determines your destiny, but how you face it. Whether you pass or fail depends on how willing you are to trust the divine plan and turn each challenge into an opportunity for growth. Now, imagine what could be waiting for you when you finally overcome this stage. Think about the blessings already prepared, waiting for the right moment to manifest. Wouldn't it be amazing to break free from this cycle and finally access everything that has been promised? What you do next will define everything. And in this video, you'll discover why this test is unavoidable and how to overcome it. From the start of the journey, challenges appear as closed doors or mountains to climb, but in reality, they are tools for preparation. God, in His infinite wisdom, doesn't impose trials without purpose. These trials, seen as tests, are tools to shape character and strengthen the faith of the chosen. Picture an athlete. They don't compete without rigorous training. In the same way, every difficulty we face is a means to refine our inner selves, preparing us for something greater. What many fail to realize is that challenges are not punishments but divine opportunities for transformation. Every difficult moment is a chance for refinement, a kind of test to see how far faith can go. For instance, think of a situation where you faced a closed door, but by persisting, saw a window open. It's in these moments that God works, showing that His purpose always exceeds our imagination. Perseverance here is the key to accessing hidden blessings. Even when everything feels overwhelming, it's essential to remember that each test is a form of preparation for what lies ahead. Just as gold is refined by fire to become pure, trials serve to purify our hearts and align our trust with the divine purpose. When we understand that these moments are not the end but the beginning of something greater, we become capable of seeing God's hand guiding each step. And as we move on to the next topic, we'll see how these trials are, in fact, the crucible of growth. Looking at biblical stories like Joseph's, we see that trials aren't just fleeting difficulties, but essential steps on the path to growth. Joseph was betrayed, sold, and unjustly imprisoned, but each of these trials prepared him for the grand purpose of his life, to save an entire nation. Like him, everyone goes through the crucible of growth, where challenges strengthen and prepare us for greater blessings and responsibilities. These stages are like intensive training, shaping character and building resilience. If you've ever experienced a moment when everything seemed to fall apart, know that this is when God works most powerfully. A practical example is losing a job, but using that moment to learn new skills, reevaluate goals, and eventually find something even greater. Life's crucible is an environment of intense heat that molds the chosen for something extraordinary. It's through this process that spiritual transformation happens and true purpose begins to reveal itself. But remember, growth never comes without effort. Just as a plant must be pruned to bloom stronger, we must face these periods of trial and surrender. It's here that character is forged and faith deepened. Overcoming each stage strengthens us to receive and sustain the promised blessings. This journey brings us to a crucial point: maintaining faith above circumstances. In times of adversity, keeping faith may seem impossible, but that's precisely when it must shine the brightest. Faith above circumstances means trusting the divine purpose even when everything around you says otherwise. It's looking at difficulties and saying, "I don't understand, but I trust." Think of Peter, who walked on water while keeping his eyes fixed on Jesus, but began to sink when he focused on the wind and waves. This example shows that we must align our gaze with the promise, not the problem. In practical terms, this can be seen in everyday moments. Imagine someone facing financial problems choosing to seek solutions with confidence rather than drowning in despair. They might look for job opportunities, learn about personal finance, or find strength in prayer. Trust in God transforms perspectives, giving the courage to act with hope even in the most challenging situations. This surrender isn't passivity, but active faith that supports the necessary actions to overcome trials. When we learn to live with faith above circumstances, we discover that every challenge becomes a step towards spiritual growth. It's like climbing a staircase in the fog. You can't see the top, but trust the steps are there. Each step, no matter how difficult, brings us closer to the divine purpose. And with this understanding, we see that life's tests are unavoidable and vital for our refinement. The tests we face in life are unavoidable, like a teacher who can't hand out a diploma before giving the final exam. God, in His wisdom, knows the right time for every advancement, but also knows we can't receive great blessings without being ready to sustain them. When we try to avoid or delay these tests, we only postpone the process of growth and the blessings already prepared for us. It's like someone avoiding a difficult conversation only to see problems pile up over time. These tests are not divine whims, but ways to ensure that our character and faith are sufficiently refined to bear the weight of the promises. A clear example is David, who spent years being pursued before becoming king. During this period, he was prepared to rule with wisdom and humility. Similarly, every test we face prepares us for something greater ahead. God doesn't put us in situations to destroy us, but to prepare us to receive and multiply His blessings. Understanding that these moments are inevitable helps us face them with courage and perseverance. Avoiding the test doesn't eliminate the need to face it, but only delays the process. It's like repeating a course until you're ready to pass. It's in this moment of acceptance that we begin to develop a deeper spiritual surrender, recognizing that we are not alone and that there's a greater purpose in every trial. Spiritual surrender is where true transformation begins. It's in this moment that the heart fully submits to God, recognizing that trials cannot be faced with human strength alone. This surrender isn't a sign of weakness, but of wisdom, as it acknowledges our limited control and the greater purpose at work. Many practical examples illustrate this. A simple act like starting the day with a prayer of trust can change an entire perspective on a difficult situation. This practice aligns us with the divine plan. Surrendering spiritually doesn't mean sitting idly by and waiting for everything to fall into place, but aligning our actions with the confidence that God is in control. Imagine someone facing a big challenge, like a career decision or a complicated family issue. In prayer, they can ask for wisdom and act calmly, trusting that the right choices will be revealed. This posture brings peace, even in the midst of affliction, and allows the chosen to face trials with courage and perseverance. When we release our anxieties and fears, we make room for God to guide us. It's in this moment of surrender that we find the strength to continue, even when challenges seem insurmountable. Every prayer, every act of faith serves as a reminder that we are not alone in this journey. With this renewed trust, we gain the focus needed to face tests with perseverance and determination, knowing the outcomes will be transformative. Focus and perseverance are like compasses for navigating life's storms. Without them, it's easy to get lost amid trials and give up before reaching the goal. For those facing divine tests, Keeping your eyes on the greater purpose is essential. Think of an archer. They align their target, take a deep breath, and ignore distractions around them. Similarly, we must keep our vision fixed on the promise and the growth ahead. In this alignment, we find the strength to persevere, even when the journey is tough. In daily life, focus can be cultivated through practical actions, such as setting clear priorities and avoiding distractions that steer us away from our purpose. Perseverance is fueled by remembering that every step brings us closer to the destination. Imagine someone studying for an exam or building a business. The journey may be long, but every effort contributes to the final success. This dedication is also spiritual. Praying, meditating, and renewing trust in God are ways to keep the spirit strong and resilient. When we understand the power of focus and perseverance, trials stop being insurmountable barriers and become springboards for a transformed life. Every challenge overcome strengthens trust and brings us closer to the promised blessings. It's like climbing a mountain. The climb is hard, but the view from the top makes it all worthwhile. Now, with the knowledge gained, it's time to bring all these lessons together into a powerful introduction that will open the doors to the main message. The moment has come to reflect. Are you ready to apply everything you've learned? Life's tests are inevitable, but how you respond to them can change everything. Think about what has been said about perseverance, surrender, and focus. Where can you start? Perhaps by facing that challenge you've been avoiding or changing how you approach difficulties. Ask yourself, am I truly ready to trust the greater purpose, or will I keep postponing my growth? The decision is in your hands. You can stay in the same place or take the next step to unlock the destiny God has prepared for you. Remember, the chosen don't run from the path, but face it head-on, knowing that it's where character is refined and blessings are revealed. It's time to change your perspective, face what lies ahead with courage, and pave the way for the extraordinary. If this message has made a difference in your life, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and share this message with someone else who needs to hear it. Together, we can grow and find the greater purpose reserved for us. The next step is yours. So, what will you do now?